Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can see by the title and as you can see, I'm wearing no makeup because today we are testing out a new product. I'm trying out the new KVD Good Apple foundation. This foundation has been so hard to get a hold of. I know you guys know because it's been sold out on Sephora, on KVD's website. It's just been a huge thing going viral. So I finally got my hands on it. So I'm going to try this out today and I'm going to see if it's worth the hype. I'm going to let you guys know if you need to get this, if it's even worth the wait. So today we're going to put it to the test. I'm going to do a wear test and everything. So let's get into that. But before we do that, please don't forget, subscribe to the channel, give the video a like, turn your post notifications on, and let's get into it. Let's talk packaging. This is what it looks like. It's all black with gold detailing, a gold apple on it. It's called Good Apple, and it says it's a skin perfecting foundation balm. When I hear the word balm, I'm thinking nourishing, hydrating, supple. Those are all the words that come to my mind when I hear balm, so definitely going to be nourishing. It says it's infused with apple extract to help nourish the skin. That's pretty much all it says on here. It doesn't say much, and the shade I picked up was medium 54. I feel like the shade I picked up is a little too dark for me because, again, I'm matching online, so we're just gonna have to make it work. So this is what it looks like. It's all clear, very, very sleek. I've never seen a packaging like this. I feel like I haven't seen a brand do this, so interesting. Kind of looks a little... I don't want to say the word, but it looks a little cheap to me. But hey, I know it's like very eco-friendly and stuff like that, so that's always a plus. But that's just my thoughts instantly when I see it because it's just like plastic. I feel like that's what I find at the dollar store.
And
But again, let's not shut it down. So the price of this is $51 and it is like 10 grams. It comes in 40 shades, which is always nice. I love to see makeup brands come out with a bunch of shades so that everybody has variety. So it's really, really nice. And I know that KVD has always been very, very nice when it comes to variety of shades and inclusivity and stuff like that. So that's always nice. I've always loved that about the brand. So that's definitely a plus. And when you look inside, you can already tell that instantly the balm looks very, very glossy. I don't know if you guys can pick up on it, but it's looking very, very shiny in there. So looks very nourishing. So on here it says it's a buildable, full coverage, hydrating foundation balm with a lightweight, long wear formula and a fresh matte finish in a fully recyclable packaging. So that's why the packaging looks like this, because it's fully recyclable. So that's always nice. And the key ingredients are apple extract, which nourishes the skin, and then it has sodium hyaluronate. I don't know if I'm saying that properly, but that's supposed to hydrate the skin. So definitely going to be very hydrating. It also says it's non-comedogenic. It's going to minimize your appearance of pores, give you smooth skin, it's not cakey, no flashback, and it's gonna cover pigmentation. As you guys can see, I do have pigmentation, so we're really gonna see if this covers it. My skin type is combination. I do get a little bit oily in my T-zone, but I am dry on like the outer sides of my face. So the way I'm gonna test this out, you guys know I like to give you guys two options always. I'm gonna test it out on this side of my face with nothing on, just the foundation by itself. I don't have primer, moisturizer, nothing on. So I'm just going to put this on by itself and no setting powder so we can see how it works by itself. And then on this side of my face, I'm actually going to apply a moisturizer, a primer, the foundation, and a setting powder because I want to see how it works with a powder and stuff. So I'm going to give you guys two options and we're going to see how it wears throughout the day. I'm going to do like hourly check-ins. So let's get started. I'm going to be using this brush. This is the Morphe G1 foundation brush. And I don't even want to dunk my brush in. You know when you have makeup and it looks so like new, you don't want to dunk anything in, so it always breaks my heart when I do. Let me swatch it on my finger first. This is what it looks like. Instantly, it looks very pigmented. It definitely does look a little bit too dark for me. We're gonna make it work. I'm still gonna wear it regardless because I really want to give you guys a review on it, and all the shades are sold out now, so we're just gonna have to make it work. So let's get ready for the first swatch. Wow. That is full coverage. That is really full coverage. Literally just one swipe, completely gone. Usually I feel like things are buildable, but this right here, completely full coverage. It feels very hydrating. It literally feels like an oil almost going across your face. Very, very hydrating. Wow, I'm so shocked at the coverage. And I'm swiping, but you should actually be patting. I'm just swiping so that you guys could see how it spreads. But it feels very, very hydrating. It almost feels like a serum. With literally just one little dunk, it covered up so much of my face and all my pigmentation is covered. But it does kind of feel a little thick. I'm not gonna lie. It doesn't really feel lightweight. I like feel it on my skin because it's very hydrating. Kind of feels a little thick. So not too much lightweight, but we're gonna see how it feels throughout the day. But I'm gonna add a little bit more, and I'm just gonna pat on top of the pigmentation just a little bit more. I'm gonna add some under my eye so that I could see how it wears under there. Okay, so this is what it looks like on, and a little bit goes a long way. I literally just used a little bit, and the coverage is unreal. So right now, my first impression of it is coverage is amazing, very full coverage. You use a little bit and it covers your entire face, so amazing for coverage. I don't feel like it's lightweight. I do feel like it is a little bit thick. So I'm thinking, I don't know if it'll change throughout the day, but it feels a little bit thick on my skin. Very, very hydrating, and maybe that's why I'm feeling like it's very thick. As for the color, I do feel like the color is actually pretty light. It looks lighter than what it looks like on here. So the color isn't too bad. It's definitely a little light on me. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do this side because this side has primer and stuff, so I'm gonna see if it looks a little bit different. So again, I'm just using a little bit. We're gonna go on top of the spot right here. Amazing. Look at that coverage. Covered completely. And you guys know I've had this little pimple right there for so long. So I guess it's kind of nice it stuck around because now we can see that this completely covers it. You don't see it. I'm gonna go ahead and do the tapping motion because this is usually how I apply my foundation. I always pat. I don't really drag. I've never really been a fan of doing applications like that. So this is what it looks like on the side with the moisturizer and the primer. Instantly what I'm noticing is that there is piling all along the bottom right here. So it's creating those like little balls of like product piling up all along here. So definitely a lot of piling. And I'm not sure if it's because of the moisturizer or the primer that I used with the KVD, but I use this moisturizer, the Fenty Skin Moisturizer, with a bunch of my foundations. I was just wearing it yesterday and the day before, and it never created this. So I'm not sure if it's just this mixed in with the KVD that it's making it happen, because you can see it's really bad along here, but here there's no piling. So I'm instantly thinking certain moisturizers with this is gonna make that happen. Or it could be the primer, I'm not sure, but I'm assuming it's most likely the moisturizer right here. So that's definitely not a good thing. So I'm just gonna try to take everything off, fluff it off. So it did come off for the most part, but you guys saw that. You guys saw that there was piling there, or piling, whatever you say. So that's a little disappointing that there was piling with the moisturizer and the primer, because again, like I said, I've used this moisturizer and this primer with a bunch of my foundations that I've been using and testing out lately, and that's never been a problem. So I don't know how I feel about that, but I got most of it off. You can see most of it's off, so it's fine. Let's continue. I'm gonna go ahead and add concealer under my eyes, because I want to just see how it wears just with like a full face kind of thing. I'm going to be looking a little crazy today walking around the house like this, but that's okay. I'm doing it for you guys because I really want to get a genuine review, so that's fine. Then I'm going to go in with my beauty blender, and I'm actually just going to tap in my foundation a little bit more just to see how well it sits. Okay, the pilling is still happening, so I'm not happy about that. I'm trying to get off as much as possible. And I'm going to use my One Size Beauty translucent powder. I use this powder with a lot of my foundations, and it's translucent, so it's not going to alter the color. So this is what it looks like on with the setting powder, and I find that when I added this, it did remove that piling that was happening. So that's gone already, which is nice because we don't want that. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a little bit of bronzer on, because again, usually I would always wear bronzer and I want to just see how it looks together. I'm going to add a little bit of highlighter to see maybe how it wears, if it pulls texture or anything. Okay, so this is what the final application looks like. You can see what it looks like with a bronzer, a setting powder. It kind of gives you a little bit more of a matte finish here, whereas here it definitely looks like a fresh matte finish. It's not too glowy, but it's not too matte. It's kind of like a healthy matte, whereas here it's like a complete matte. So I'm going to wear this out, and I'm going to come back in, and I'm going to be checking in every few hours because I want to see how it wears throughout the day. But this is what it's looking like on the first application. All right, so it's been 2 hours, and this is what it's looking like. So on this side where it's just the foundation, you can see that I am looking a little bit more glowy than I did 2 hours ago, and that's obviously because I didn't use a setting powder. It's just the foundation by itself, so my natural oils are just coming through, so it's looking a little bit more glowy. The makeup isn't breaking apart. It's still in place, as you can see. It's just a little bit right here that it's kind of breaking apart a little bit, but that's obviously because I am a little bit oily underneath my nose, so it's starting to break apart a little bit right there. But overall, you can see that the makeup is still intact. haven't touched it at all, so still intact. And then on this side where I put setting powder, this side looks really beautiful. You can see that there hasn't been any change. It's still really matte. My oils aren't coming through at all, so you can see that nothing's really changed on this side. So this is what it's looking like so far, 2 hours in. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back in 4 hours and then show you guys the update, and then we'll talk about it and we'll see if we like it or not. So it's been 5 hours now that I've been wearing this foundation, and here are my thoughts. I'm ready to talk about it. So the first thing I'm noticing is the foundation doesn't oxidize. I don't think that the foundation color has changed at all. I feel like it's stayed very true to the way it applied the first time around. But like I said, I do find, there goes the foundation. Sorry about that. It definitely is full coverage. You guys saw that within like a few swipes, everything was covered. It covered up my pigmentation on both sides of my face. Very, very full coverage, and the coverage, you don't even need to build it up. Like the full coverage is instant. So definitely full coverage. It will cover blemishes, acne, pigmentation. It will cover everything. So a little goes a long way. So with full coverage, it's got it covered. Now, as for the finish is supposed to be a fresh matte finish. As for the side on here where I'm only wearing the foundation, you can see that my natural oils are coming through a little bit. So I am looking more glowy as the hours go on. So it's no longer like a true matte. A little bit more shiny here on my nose, a little bit right here around my cheek, a little bit on my chin. And because I didn't set it with a powder, when you touch your face, it kind of does smudge off. So I actually just like touch my nose right there, and you could see that it is smudging. And I'm also noticing that the makeup is breaking up a little bit right here under my nose and under my lip right here. Even on my chin, you can see it all right here, and a little bit on my nose too. So you can see that the makeup is starting to break apart a little bit, and I've only noticed this that after the 5 hours it started to break up apart a little bit. But again, that could be because there's no setting powder on top. But this side has the setting powder on it, and I am noticing that I'm still matte, so nothing's really changed. My oil isn't really coming through on this side. Like I said, I do have combination skin, so I'm mainly oily, like in a little bit of my forehead and a little bit right here just in my T-zone. But on this side, I'm still pretty matte. Like I don't really look glossy here at all. Now, as for the makeup I find that it is starting to break apart right here as well on this side. Not as much as on here, but it is breaking apart here. Let me come closer. It's right here under my nose, on my lip right here, a little bit on my cheek right, let me see where it is, right here. It's starting to break apart. And even on the pimple right here that we covered, I'm noticing that it is lifting a little bit. It's starting to break apart, and you can see a little bit of the pigmentation coming through compared to earlier. It was like completely covered. So I feel like even in a few more hours, this will probably completely break apart because I'm starting to notice it a little bit. And like I said, right here, a little bit right here, a little bit right here, nothing really on my forehead. It's just in like little areas. A big thing that I'm noticing is the pilling. The pilling is back. I don't know if I noticed this before, but it's all along here, my jawline. And here is where it's actually breaking apart the most on my jawline. And when you touch it like this, on the bottom is where all the pilling starts. Like if I touch it, the pilling starts to like lift. So it's definitely still there, and you could see it. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but in person, you could definitely see a little bit of the pilling still happening here. And again, I find that very strange because I do use this moisturizer and this primer with the Becca Ultimate Coverage, with the Huda Beauty, and with the Fenty Skin Tint, and I haven't experienced any pilling at all with any of those foundations. I literally used all 3 of those last week, and I never had any problems. So I find it really weird that it's happening with this one. So I'm not sure if it's the foundation that's just not working with these products, or it's just a foundation. I'm not sure, but I don't like that. I really don't. Another thing I will say is my skin does look smooth though. Overall, on both sides, you can see that my skin looks very smooth. It does look very airbrushed, very healthy, very smooth. So I will give it that. As for the pores, it did say it blurred pores, but I'm not seeing that, or at least not for me. I do still see like really enlarged pores on this side by itself. You can see that my pores look very enlarged here. But on this side where I put like a primer on, it kind of did minimize it a little bit more. So I'm thinking it's the primer that minimized it, because right here I'm still seeing a lot of pores. So at the end of my video, that's how I feel about it. I'm not really a fan. I don't love it. I wouldn't use this again. I honestly feel like it is very overhyped, and I think that it's mainly because of the coverage. It gives you full coverage, but what's full coverage if it doesn't wear properly all day? You know what I mean? Because like I said, it's starting to break apart. So it's gonna be a no for me, but let me know in the comments down below. What are your thoughts? Do you guys love it? Do you guys hate it? Is there other products you want me to review? Let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.